Clemson University's Rutland Institute for Ethics presents the story of Bill Carlson, a former business executive who succumbed to the pressures of fraud. Over the course of the video, the theme of his story becomes clear: how to use gratitude as an antidote for unethical behavior. This is Bill. He had a normal life. He had a good job, great family, and lived comfortably. But his life completely changed in 2017 when he was convicted of mail fraud. But how did Bill get here? How did Bill, with a stable job, a loving family, and comfortable living, succumb to theft? His story begins in a typical American upbringing: a good home, married parents, quality education, an environment seemingly propelling him toward success. Once Bill graduated from college, he began work as a stockbroker. He continued his work in the industry for 18 years and eventually opened his own investment firm in 2004. His firm later merged with another company, and Bill became a partner. Bill's business was booming. He had gotten married, settled down, and had 2 kids. By all accounts, Bill had it all. A loving family, kids in college, a big house, and a vacation home. But behind the scenes, expenses were mounting, and his income no longer supported his lifestyle. Bill wanted to maintain his comfortable living and keep his family happy, but as the pressure rose, Bill made a pivotal choice. Bill decided to take money from a client account. Bill forged his client's signature on a form which allowed him to take out unauthorized amounts. He also forged a signature that sent the checks to another address so he could pick them up. When the client asked about the amounts coming out of their account, Bill lied to them and said it was a clerical error that would be resolved. Bill was committing mail fraud. Once he started, there was no going back. Throughout this time, Bill continued to rationalize his theft. Bill's justification was that he was only borrowing the money, promising himself he would pay it back once business picked up. He began drinking to mask his guilty conscience. As time went on, it was harder and harder for him to stop taking the money. Bill continued to take from the account until the account was almost empty. Then, Bill came to a crossroads. He could either replace the money by taking money from another client's account or confess to his partners. Bill debated what to do. He knew that if he stole from another client, it would just prolong what he was doing and hurt another client. Bill decided to confess. Bill confessed to his partners at the firm and resigned from the company. Shortly after, an official investigation was launched into his theft. After resigning from the firm, Bill went to his parents' house, telling them what he had done. They were devastated. When his theft started, he did not think about having to tell his family, but now that he had confessed to them, he more clearly realized the mistake he made. After the authorities began investigating, Bill told his children who were away at college. They were both very upset and hurt. His son had some choice words for Bill, and his daughter, she didn't even know what to say. The next day, his daughter texted him, "Dad, what were you thinking?" This was a turning point for Bill because he did not know why he did it. At this moment, Bill decided he would discover why he did what he did. This started his journey of learning more about himself and why he would steal when he knew he was wrong. Over the course of the year, the authorities investigated the fraud. In August of 2017, Bill pleaded guilty to 1 count of mail fraud. He was sentenced to 55 months in prison and 1 year of supervised release. On January 23, 2018, Bill self-surrendered and was sent to a federal prison camp where he would go on to serve 30 months. Bill's routine underwent a significant transformation. Previously accustomed to waking up on his own time, he now adhered to a strict schedule, rising daily at 5:30. His day followed a regimented pattern: breakfast, work, lunch, workout, dinner, and evening classes. The monotony of this routine characterized almost every day. Contrasting sharply with his pre-incarceration life, Bill found himself unable to communicate with his family freely or spend holidays with them. His everyday freedoms were taken away from him. As he got adjusted to his new lifestyle, Bill began trying to answer his daughter's question, "Dad, what were you thinking?" Once in the camp, Bill got self-help books sent to him. He read numerous books to help him determine why he stole. Over the course of his research, Bill realized how much impact his actions had on those around him. When Bill decided to commit mail fraud, he never considered telling his family members or how that would affect them. Bill's children stopped speaking to him. They felt betrayed and embarrassed by what he had done. There were many consequences to his actions that Bill did not even think about. While he was in, he met Jeff, another prisoner on a journey towards betterment. Together, they read books, shared thoughts, compared experiences and talked about how to change their lives. Throughout his time in prison, Bill realized the importance of gratitude. Bill began writing down things he was grateful for every day he was in prison. Bill had material things, but he also had relationships. Before his theft, his family supported him and loved him. He had great coworkers and employees. Bill was so focused on maintaining the material he didn't realize how much he had to be grateful for. After Bill and Jeff's conversations, they decided to teach a class called Bitter or Better, Learning to be Grateful and Finding Happiness in Prison and Beyond. These classes were an 8-week course where they led candid conversations about what they had done and why. In this class, the focus was gratitude. They discussed how to apply gratitude in their lives. Bill eventually got transferred to another prison camp closer to his home. Here, he met another prisoner who was a neurologist and they decided to teach a class as well. This class was similar to the one Bill had taught before. But this time, the neurologist taught about the physical side of the brain and Bill taught about the psychological side. Bill continued to teach these classes until he was released. Bill got out of prison in August of 2020 due to COVID. He spent 16 months on house arrest, only able to leave to go to work and supervised activities. Throughout this time, Bill made amends with his family and worked to prove to them he was a changed man. Now, he teaches a job readiness and life skills class at Cook County Jail in Chicago, Illinois. Bill also teaches classes around the country. He speaks about the lessons he learned during his time in prison. Bill teaches about the fraud triangle, which exemplifies how he began stealing. The fraud triangle consists of 3 sides: pressure, opportunity, and rationalization. He had the opportunity to steal, he felt the internal and external pressures building, and he was able to rationalize his behavior by promising himself he would pay it back. Bill also teaches about the National Association of State Auditors, Controllers, and Treasurers 10-80-10 rule. This rule states that 10% of people will never commit fraud no matter the circumstances, 80% of the population might commit fraud given the right pressure and opportunity, the last 10% are actively involved in committing or trying to commit fraud. Bill has first-hand experience with this statistic. He had the pressures, opportunities, and rationalization. He was a part of the 80%. Bill gives these presentations to give students a unique perspective. Having spoken at numerous places, including Clemson University, Bill wants to teach students about how to use gratitude in their lives. Many students are just like him. They come from good families, live comfortably, and have good relationships. But many may also fall victim to the pressures just like Bill. While incarcerated, Bill was able to take the time to examine himself and why he committed those crimes. Now, he has completely transformed his life. Through teaching, Bill strives to impart these lessons to others, emphasizing the crucial role of ethical decision-making and the consequences to succumbing to the pressures of the fraud triangle. Bill's story inspires hope and serves as a cautionary tale for those navigating their own moral compass in a world filled with challenges and temptations. The Rutland Institute for Ethics aims to help Clemson students develop and execute their own ethical framework so they do not fall victim to the fraud triangle. Using tools like the STAR model, students are equipped with the tools necessary to navigate the complexities of ethical decision-making in both their personal and professional lives.